The UIUC Talkshow. Lights, camera, action.
Welcome to the UIUC Talkshow,
where we introduce you to the most interesting people with the most interesting ideas.
Yeah, welcome. So today we're going to have a little different of an episode here. So we want to make so this one would be the number 12 episode, which that is to say that's been about, assuming each episode is about an hour, that's about 12 hours. And that's actually now counting a lot of the editing hours that each video goes, advertisement and everything that we haven't really done, but we're starting to do. So I think if we were to calculate how many hours we've done, probably about, I would say because each episode that we have is about an hour conversation, but it takes usually about 4 hours to set up everything and put everything down. So that would be what? 4 times, that's a
12.
lot of time.
4 times 12.
Yeah, so that would be
48.
And then plus the editing. So we would say over 200 hours of working. And that is what?
5 weeks.
5 weeks? 5 weeks.
Yeah.
So we wanted to make this video as a way to reflect, talk a little more about what we've learned, what we hope to do, and how we're learning. Just look at the studio today. It's a lot
different than usual. Today we got a break day, and just so that we try new stuff and keep our background and our audiences engaged. This is something which I tried today, and it seems to be working well. I'm not sure if we're going to be doing this every episode that we release after this, but I'd be curious to know if you'd be interested if we do this.
Well, do you like it?
I like it.
Well, if you like it, that's all enough. And to clarify, we don't like breaks. We don't take breaks. But we're doing this as a little break because one of the person that we were going to interview, the person was sick, so he couldn't come. But he likes breaks. I don't like breaks. But I'm kidding.
Yeah, so it was a good opportunity to I've been wanting to try this for a while now. We have been shooting back to back, and we haven't gotten much time to assess how we're doing or what we could do better, just because we haven't gotten the time to experiment with those factors. So I'm happy with the results. I'll probably try with some new lighting. These colors look nice, but I'm still gonna try a few good combinations. It took a little while to set this up just because it was the first time, but I feel if we do it every episode, I'll be able to get it down to perfection, and it shouldn't take much time to do it.
Yeah.
So if you guys think it looks pretty good, let us know, and we'll put a little extra effort every time just to make this work.
All right. So what have you learned? And not only that, but I think something I've noticed is that you feel differently about life in a way. I think you seem more excited about things. I don't know, maybe. So your general feelings, your everyday general feelings, how have you felt since the start of this project?
All right, let's see. I would say in one word, optimistic. I feel like I've been getting the kind of conversations that I was looking for. We have definitely had many interesting people on here, and every single one of those conversations is something that I cherish deeply. There's something that's I learned in every conversation, and I feel good about that because that's the whole point of the show. We wanna ask the hard questions. We wanna make our guests open up and know what they feel about different issues that we ask to them, right? And I feel like it has been going well so far, and I feel it'll continue to do well in the future too, because we're learning as we're going. We're seeing our flaws, we're finding our mistakes, and we're trying to work on them just a little bit better every time. But I think overall, if you think long term, like 2 months down the line, maybe we would be at a much better stage than what we started at. Like the first video,
Yeah, but
we had like 2 lights and the audio was not good, but here we are now with all these studio, the microphones, the seating arrangement. Seating arrangement hasn't changed much just because it worked, but I feel like the composition of the frame, like minor things which I am nitpicky about just because
of course.
I'm in charge of it
You're in
with
charge of
you,
it. Wow.
with you,
You're
of
the
course,
boss now?
with your help. So,
Thank you, boss.
but yeah, I feel pretty good about it. What are your thoughts?
What are my thoughts? So I generally love these type of projects where they just like get so into it and you see what happens. And generally, a lot of they usually have like a goal, like we're doing this in order to get X, Y, and Z. Like if you start a business, you're trying to start a business so you can have money. If you don't make money, the business fails. But in this case, we are taking advantage of time, but also something more important that is, again, the time that we have is that we don't necessarily need to make these videos go as viral as possible in order for us to make money, because we don't need to, because everything that we have is provided, and really we really don't have to. And I think there's something so beautiful about it, or just doing something that you want, and you may not know how it's going to help you, or whether it's going to help you, or whether it's going to make you money, or whether anything. And there's something so beautiful and pure and, I don't know, I would even say like Renaissance style. You're just doing something because you want to. And that desire to do things, it changes the whole perspective. And I think that's why I'm so excited, because what we're trying to do here, or at least how I see it, is that we're trying to create a narrative, is to portray a world that most people don't know, a world where people do what they want, where people love what they do, and it isn't a world where people just live paycheck by paycheck, but it's a world where their talents, their gifts are aligned with what the world wants. And I think this is what we're trying to create, a new narrative of the new cool. And I think the new cool will be where people do what they want without having to be famous, or without trying to be like getting a job or resume. And it's just so cool. I remember reading from this guy, like the definition of being a nerd is doing something because of it. And a nerd is a bad word, but I think that the nerdiest people are usually the most successful. In a way, because they're not doing something or joining clubs or anything because like this guy is there. They're doing it because they want to. And because when you do something because you love doing it, you'll get so much better at it. And I think we're an example of that, because comparing where we're starting, where we're at, we're still bad. And a lot of the things that we've done so far are horrible. And if a conversation did not go super well, it's completely our fault, because we didn't know how to ask the right questions. And I think that's where we're getting a lot better at. So it's a time to reflect, but also to share it. And it's a huge effort and it's a huge commitment in a way. And I'm just so excited. And I just hope that, I think the challenge is finding these people. And I think little by little, we've been finding them.
Yeah.
Talk a lot, but yeah.
They've been finding us.
That's true. Yeah, I think that should be, like, at some point people will be reaching out to us and everything, but at the end, we're not doing this to publicize anyone or to make us famous. This is a way for us to have conversations that we want to have. And I think just having the camera here just for some reason, makes people more willing to do those things. And we're trying.
Yeah. What are your other thoughts on the guests we have so far?
They've been amazing, and super grateful for every single one of them, because they said yes. They took they don't know who I am when I send the email. They don't know us. And they say yes without judging, without even seeing even the show. Sometimes people just say, yes, let's do it. I want to help. I want to do these things. And I think that's something we're so grateful for because we've sent many emails. Most people don't reply. And we're okay with that. But people who have said yes is something that
we're grateful for. Yeah. Because, I mean, it's unreasonable to expect that everyone is going to reply to our emails. But the people who did, I'm sure I'm really grateful to them because without them, we wouldn't have been able to reach this far.
Yeah, we wouldn't have any show.
Exactly. So we would like to thank, if you're listening, we would like to thank you for accepting our little...
accepting the invitation to our project. And,
exactly.
And just being that is a way to show support. And that says more than anything else.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the 2 instances we had with 2 of our guests? So I can go first because it happened first, but the first one we had was with John's talent. And to tell you more about the story of how it happened is that someday, randomly, I was sitting at the electrical engineering building studying, and I see in the board EC410. I'm like, oh wow, what is this? I looked it up, neuroscience for engineers, machine learning, and a bunch of things. And I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. I'm gonna write it down for future semesters, whatever. And then, that happened, and Mr. Aaryaman here called me, hey, let's do the project. So we started the project, and he was one of the people that I had on my list to send an email to talk. So I sent the email on a Monday about 5:59 p.m. I send the email. He replies in literally 2 minutes. He says, hey, here's my phone number. Call me. I'm currently taking care of my granddaughter. All right. I call him. We talk for about 40 minutes. And just by then, it was the most interesting conversation I've ever had in years. We went from talking for math, theoretical physics, his plan to solve climate change, and just a bunch of different things. I'm like, wow, is it even possible to know this much and to be able to communicate it? And I remember after the call, I called you, and I was just so excited. I think he was doing homework or something. You're like, hey, I'll talk to you later.
Meeting, yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is insane. So that happened. Then after that, he invited me to his office where we talked for about 4 hours. Literally 4 hours. He gave me a notebook. He gifted me a whole book and everything. And after that, he was like, oh, are you free? Like, yeah, I'm free. Okay, come to my place so we can have dinner or whatever. And so I met his wife, his granddaughter, and it was just an insane experience. And something that we were talking about last weekend is that just that experience was completely worth it. Because, a lot of the times the relationship with the professors are just so formal. But I think that's what it's supposed to be like. These professors are geniuses, and you don't learn from them just by taking the classes. You learn from them from seeing how they do, how they talk, and I think that's where the real learning comes from. You want to talk about the other experience we had?
Sure, but to expand a little bit on what you said, we were talking, like you mentioned, we were talking about it last week about how our relationship with the professor is so formal that we take a class with them one semester and then we forget. Then we move on to the next one and then we take a class. It comes to a point where we're not but we're not appreciating them for what they're doing and how much you can learn from them. Okay, you can learn something from them in a class, but there's so much more you would if you just spend the time to talk with them, or even if they can spare the time, or you can find a way to connect with him or her. We definitely found that, because in the last couple of weeks we have had a couple of professors on this show, and every single one of those conversations was something that we felt we wouldn't have had if we weren't doing this. If we were just taking the class, or just maybe staying back after class to talk a little bit about it. But
yeah, we would have never.
Yeah,
100% never had it.
It took this little initiative to just know them a little bit better, understand their side of the world. We're always judging it from our perspective, but seeing it through their lens, seeing what their lives look like, and seeing the hardships, the struggles, the effort which they put in the work that they do is pretty phenomenal, and something that I feel every student should appreciate about their professor.
And that right there was a consequence that we got without even really knowing anything. We started this project. Did we think our professors were going to invite us to spend time with them or eat dinner, lunch, whatever with them? Of course not. We were not even thinking about that. But that is an example of how it could happen.
Exactly. The other incident which he mentioned was...
Well, not incident, it was like experience.
Experience. I mean, yeah. The other experience was with Dr. Lelis Bravo, with whom we talked about statistics, and it was episode number 5. So she was great. She was a great guest. We had a great time talking with her, and at the end of the show, she invited us for a brunch at her place, because just so that we could continue this conversation. She really appreciated what we were doing and encouraged us to keep doing this, and we're really grateful for hers. And we did end up going to her place for brunch. We met her husband, her mother-in-law, and they were the sweetest person we have met. And just learning more about their lives as professors, as immigrants in this country, it's something that you cannot just listen and forget about it. You keep thinking about it, because these are real people with stories that have affected their lives, and just getting a little more depth, a little more insight into the kind of struggles they've been through, the kind of hardships they've overcome to reach this place is something that we both, I feel, gain a deeper understanding for. Just by spending this time with them, we had the most delicious meal.
What do you eat?
Chiquitos, right?
No, come on, man.
It was a Venezuelan dish.
You ate many things.
No, but
tell me the name of the most important one.
The one I remember is Malta, which was the...
Okay, that's like a drink, man.
Right. The other was... What was it?
So there's the thing you ate. That's the most... Remember this?
Yeah.
You open it.
The breakfast.
How do you call it?
What was it?
It starts with an A. Arepa.
Arepa. Yes. What was the
the cheese?
Yeah.
Tequeño.
Tequeños.
Yeah.
And the
bread?
Bread.
Cachitos.
Yeah, so I said it right.
Not quite. Well, I don't know.
What did I say?
Something else. I don't know.
Okay.
I forgot.
Yeah, so I tried these Venezuelan dishes for the first time, and they were pretty good.
Pretty good?
Yeah. I mean, I tried what I could eat.
They were amazing.
I mean, okay.
And, I think that was just such a beautiful experience that, wow, that, just those two things just made the whole experience, worth it. We could just, end it and not make anything else anymore. It's okay, yeah, it was completely worth it. 100%.
In these 4 years, I don't think if, any professor would have invited me, I would have been able to go to a professor's house and, eat lunch with them and discuss something if I hadn't been doing this.
No way.
Yeah.
Why? Why
why? There would be...
a lot of them are scared, there's, oh my God, if I invite these people, what are they going to say? No, what do you mean we're not going to say anything? We're going because you invited us and we want to talk, and we want to talk about ideas and, see what we can learn from them about how to live and how to think. And I think just so amazing. What are your thoughts about the future and the semester is about to be over?
Let's see, how many weeks do you have left? 8, 7 weeks?
Something like that,
yeah. I'm hopeful, as I said the last time. I feel like we're getting the hang of it. We are getting better every time.
Yeah.
We are getting better at understanding what we want. and learning how to ask the right questions, how to keep the guest engaged. We learned that it doesn't help if it feels forced, right? It has to feel natural. And
right, and that comes with like having the people we want to have, not because
Right.
they're out there. Like, no,
Right. And time just flows when you're having those conversations.
insane. And that's how we can tell how good they are,
Yeah.
because they go an hour. I think the longest one we have 2 hours.
Close.
It's like, whoa, I thought it was 10 minutes.
It truly is, yeah. It has definitely. I've learned a lot, I would say, just in these last few weeks, just by doing this, and I'm hopeful, very hopeful for what comes next.
What comes next?
We'll find out.
No, I just think it's funny because people say that and it's like, oh, what comes next? But do you mean anything? Do you mean anything?
We don't know.
You don't know, yeah.
What are your thoughts?
What are my thoughts? I think honestly, like, there are so many people out there, and it's not about like, oh my God, there's so many people, I don't know who to talk to. It just, how do we find? Because like, there's a lot of smart people out there, and there's definitely no shortage of smartness. It just takes a type of person who thinks deeply about things, and not everyone thinks deeply about things. That's okay, but what we want to have is deep thinkers, people who think deeply about the world. And it's a hard thing to find because, you know, no matter who they are, they could be professors, they could be anything. A lot of people don't think that deeply, or a lot of people don't feel comfortable sharing and talking from their hearts. And I think that's been the hardest challenge. I think something I want to learn more about is how we can actually find these people. And once we have them here, how do we make them comfortable so they can actually share what they actually want to say from their heart? And again, something, it takes a lot of time. I definitely wasn't like this when I was like, I don't know, 5 years ago or whatever. And, you know, a lot of shows, like, I don't know, like Joe Rogan or whatever, like they use alcohol to like make people talk and like whatever. But I was like, yeah, like maybe, but I don't know. Like it just, there needs to be better ways to make people, you know, more comfortable. It's just such a weird thing. I guess part of being a human. I don't know.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll have to figure it out. But I mean, the general feeling is that we're excited. We want to keep doing it, and we have been doing it, which is the hard part. Because you can have all the ideas and make everything perfect, but if you don't publish the videos, you're not gonna have anything.
Exactly.
And then to end here, we're gonna do a little section that, to end our show, we have a little section we call Overrated, Underrated.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Have you heard about it?
Maybe. Sometimes.
Okay. Mechanical engineering. Overrated, underrated.
Oh.
Just assuming how time sucky it is. And also, like, you just realize you got an internship and they barely pay you much than like a waiter or whatever. Again, a waiter is perfectly fine job and everything, but you're literally just wasting time here and you're not getting that much money. Okay, let's say you're not doing it for the money, but it is kind of an investment, right? Or at least that's how people think. College is an investment. So if you make an investment, you may want some returns. And I don't think you're getting the returns economically speaking.
Okay.
Overrated, underrated.
Okay.
That means underrated or what? Or overrated?
Let me think about it.
All right.
Mechanical engineering.
That's your major, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah, in case you
I did not know that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Overrated. Maybe. I mean, depends.
No, don't. You said it. Now, back up your thing, whatever you said.
Okay.
You can just like hedge what you're saying. Just say it. You said it. Overrated. Now, like back it up.
Like mechanical engineering is the go-to engineering major, right? It's like if someone is confused what they want to do, but they know they want to do engineering.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. Yeah.
No, like
No,
it's
no, no,
it's
I
it's
know.
like the field.
I know what you mean. It's very broad and
It's
everything.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Like you can work on a lot of stuff if you do mechanical engineering. Like you have a lot of paths open. But
I'm talking about you here. You. For you. You said
yeah,
overrated. I don't care about any other people.
no, I was
You
talking in
here.
general.
No, no, no. But
Okay, for me,
you.
okay. Um,
Assuming what you want to do when you feel it's right for you. Here, you. I don't care about anyone else. You, here.
okay, I'm gonna say that mechanical engineering is overrated as a 4-year college program.
Okay, so if you want to do engineering, I guess what would you have done?
No, I would have done mechanical engineering,
Okay.
but
Is it
I
because
feel like you there's so much content. There's so much there's so many things that you can learn, and there's so many things that are interesting that when you try to condense it in a 4-year course, you're just brushing off the surface of the like infinite amount of things that you can learn
Okay.
as a mechanical engineer. Like you have so many concepts like heat transfer, you have fluid mechanics,
Right.
you have dynamics, you have signal processing, you
Okay.
have manufacturing, right? All of these topics are interesting in their own way,
Right.
right?
But isn't that the point to give you a little
Right,
surface
right.
so you can like do a master's
Yeah,
or whatever?
and that makes sense because just by taking all of the like one course for each of these topics, you could maybe assess whether you are interested in that or not, and if you feel like you can do it as a profession, you can maybe specialize it in your master's. But I'm the kind of person who, if I'm learning something, I want to give time to it. I like doing my research. I like going in depth in each of those subjects. I do not feel satisfied if I just brush off the surface and just move on to another topic. I need to master that subject before I can work on the next one. And it's not like stopping me from learning something, but it feels like I'm learning, but then I'm also forgetting, just because there's so much that you learn, and just by brushing off the surface, you're just consuming all of this information, but in reality, how much are you actually retaining?
You're just memorizing things for the test so you can like pass the test.
Exactly. Like that's what I'm seeing right now, right? Because a lot of people,
And that's what it is.
yeah, and like, what's the point of it?
So you get a degree, so you can show people, so you can get a job.
But you're not a successful mechanical engineer then.
Well, but according to what they tell you here, you get that and you can get a job. Isn't that what you're here for?
But if you want to truly contribute as an engineer, if you are genuinely,
Okay, we don't care about that. We care about jobs.
I don't care about jobs. I care more about learning. I mean, that's what I'm here for.
Super, yeah. In theory.
But it does take away from
No, yeah.
the fun of learning this. Yeah, that's the right word. So you stop having fun when you're just doing this mindlessly. You're just going at it without any time to reflect or apply it in real life. Like, okay, sure, internships are a way you can use what you learn, but again,
You'll be about to find out.
how many people are actually benefiting from that, or actually retaining that information that they feel confident enough, like, okay, I feel confident as an engineer to work on this subject.
Yeah, and the thing is, until you do it, you're not gonna know anything. And I don't know. I feel like if you really wanted to learn about heat transfer, like you would end up learning the thing anyway,
Right.
through some sort of like
Yeah.
teaching yourself through some sort of project.
Yeah.
Like I think everything I know, like I can tell you, I know, is because I had the self initiative and curiosity to do it, and boom, I would learn it. And perhaps it's not like as, you do this and you do. It's not like a path, like a straight path. Like, okay, you go here, you go there, boom, 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 boom. You learn it, you get a grade, boom. heat transfer, A+. No. Like when you're working on a project, you're going to be learning the same things, but it's just not going to be like a straight path of like, go here, go there, because you're going to be following whatever is interesting to you. I don't know. It's a weird thing to say, but I guess funnily enough, and I say ironically because, fate is very ironic, and who knows? We might end up making videos when we graduate, maybe, and then listen, we can make videos and like we can like I don't know, make. What would be fun? Actually, it'd be really cool. Like, try to learn every engineering through like some sort of like through like video, like filmmaking type of thing. Like, okay, mechanical engineering. Okay, let's try to learn it, and we would do some sort of project. We would like, I don't know, like recording type of thing. We would learn so much about all the engineering, and maybe like projects here and there or whatever. Anyway.
Exactly, but you need to escape out of the college binding then, because you need time to do that.
Yeah.
Because you're in a way constrained.
Yeah.
When you're in a university, right? You cannot always you won't have the time to just work on the stuff that you want to, just because you also need to work on staying in this university.
Well, you don't need to, but it will help sometimes. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
I like mechanical engineering by itself is I would say rated subject. It's getting the importance that it needs, but I feel like it could be learned or.
Do you know about? So there was this NASA thing. I don't remember the name of the thing, but there was this research thing where NASA would only hire people who they didn't care about college degrees or anything. They would hire people who had built rockets in their life just for fun. And there's a theory that the reason why NASA started to decline was because they started looking at credibility, and they're starting only to hire people from like MIT, Harvard, all these fancy places. And that's where NASA started to see the decline, because people knew the theory. Okay, here the heat transfer. You need to do the simulation when you CAD the part, whatever. People like they knew the stuff, but they didn't know how, like, the experience of actually building the thing. And something we're missing is that we're so focused on knowing how everything works, but it's not only until we do it that we can go back and see why it works sometimes.
Right.
But I'll send you the thing. It's super cool. Like NASA, we just only hire people who just like build rockets in high school or whatever. That's super cool.
Right. I'll ask you one.
One what?
Overrated, underrated.
Okay.
That's
a good one, please.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something that you probably can relate to. Universities.
Universities?
Overrated, underrated.
I think grossly overrated. Overrated.
Okay.
Grossly, just grossly.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Expand, no.
No,
you cannot stop there.
Like, the thing is, I think it depends, right? I don't know. I don't want to say, because that's what you said. I don't want to say that at all. Grossly overrated. I think it was a system. Actually, let me think before I say anything. So, point. Grossly overrated. Why?
Why?
Well, the first point is that there isn't actually a demand for the jobs you come here to get. Okay, why do you care about jobs? Well, the purpose of college, even though the purpose of college now is to get a job. At some point in the past, it was about learning how to think. That was sort of the purpose of the liberal arts college. You go to college, you can learn how to think. And that's sort of what they sell you, kind of, right? But they're also like starting to sell you like, if you go to like our college here, and if you type Illinois, when you go see the tuition, it says Illinois/investment. So we're seeing college as an investment. And for most people, I think the only major that would be like the exception would be computer science, because there's a bunch of demand for those people and they get a lot paid. But I think a lot of the engineering majors, STEM majors, that are really hard, like not only engineering, but chemistry, biology, all of those things, there isn't a demand for these jobs. And you're coming here to get a lot of debt for what? And the thing they're selling you is the job, but you're not going to find the job. But I think something that is valuable is that you get a 4-year break from society? Not really, because if you know, they give you these lures to like do homework and assignments and all these things. So you get a break. But if you can be smart about it, you can do actually get a break, and you can focus on like so like my purpose of college, or like what I would like to do is that have this 4-year period, now about 2.5, kind of 2, is to do something so meaningful and so good that I wouldn't have to go back to society. Meaning getting a job and like surviving, and I wouldn't like to do that. So I think that's my goal, like doing everything I can to do that. So I think that's something that is really nice, and I think that's something we should try to do in some way. Give people who are really motivated and curious and want to do cool things for the world, give them a 4-year period to actually do things and learn on their own. But I do have to recognize a lot of the things I've done here, there's very a lot of things that are very interesting, because curiosity can only go for so long. And I think the biggest thing for me has been knowing what math is really about. Like math isn't about just like numbers and everything. It's just about like seeing a new way to see the world. Like these mental models about like integrals and derivatives and like the limit idea and like differential equations, like linear algebra, all the things that allow you to see things differently. So I think that's something that I'm really grateful for. Just that, like the beauty of math and how they allow you to see the world and just learning from its own sake. And I think that's something that I would like to continue doing. But yeah, honestly, I don't know. I mean, there's been a lot of efforts out there with like and some grants programs that were giving people money to just work on their own stuff. Mm-hmm. But I don't think we're there yet for people who are like, want to build things that they don't care. Because, we're a part of the system. And if you don't want to be part of the system, you need to be outside. And that's where, people who don't go to college can succeed. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have mixed thoughts about it, but now I'm here. So I'm just saying all these things, but I'm being highly hypercritical, right?
Right.
So I'm here, right? And okay, why am I here then? I don't know. Like one reason, like my mom, like really forced me to come. I didn't want to come. She forced me to come, so I'm here. And then the other reason is like, I don't know. I just kind of think that there's something valuable about just like taking these classes. I'm not just taking like random classes and like BS. A lot of these math classes, like just talking to like people like John Allen, like being able to take his classes, like there's something so interesting about it. And I don't know how it's gonna play out, but like like in a way making my college experience, or like I don't like that word at all. F college experience. But I'm saying is that making my 4 years here the true purpose of college, which was teaching you how to think. And I think the best way to do that would be taking math classes, CS classes, and any things that are interesting out there.
Would you regret being here?
Would I regret being here? I don't know. I mean, it's a huge risk if you think about it. This is the most productive time of your life, and you're just wasting doing homework. So it's risky. It's risky. I don't know. I think they're like, for some people, they don't have anything better to do than watch Netflix or whatever. That's fine. Okay, it's better to be for them in college. But I feel like for me, I don't know. Again, I don't even know. Maybe I would end up watching Netflix or something. So I don't know. But I do think there's a huge opportunity cost of being here. And I think doing things like this reduces the opportunity cost of being here. But yeah, I don't know. There are things that I don't know. I think the biggest thing I regret is just the things it has forced me to think. That's the thing I just despise. I don't say these words, despise and hate. It has shown me the real world, in a way, the world of most people, the world where people have to take, Soma from Brave New World, which is basically this drug where people needed to take this drug in order to not think, and it's kind of like like drugs, alcohol, like hookup culture and all of these things, and it just like it causes me a lot of pain to see these things, like actual pain. I don't know why. I should not care. I should just accept it. But it has forced me to think about these things. And I really don't want to be thinking about these things. I would rather be thinking about like ideas, like figuring out how the brain works and I don't know, building space infrastructure. Like, these are things I did while I was in high school. If you see a lot of my essays I wrote in high school, they were about language, economics, like statistics, bunch of different things. Now it's just like,
more observational.
Not that. It's just the things that has forced me to think has taken me away from thinking about the things I want to think about, which is
Right.
these are the ideas. And being surrounded this bunch of different people say it's good. I don't know. It has forced me to think about how most people actually are. And I just don't know if I want to be part of the world. I definitely don't want to be part of the world. So everything I do is to get away from that. But is that a fear in itself? Well, I think it is. I think it is a fear. And what I've noted myself doing is trying to create this way to bring people here as an example, as doing examples, like writing books or starting companies, doing these type of things. And I don't even know if I should do that. Who cares? Or why do I care? I don't know. But it causes me big pain to be thinking about these things, about everyday life, why people don't do what they do, why people are people they don't want to be with, and yeah. But I think I'm getting back to who I was, and yeah. So I think that's something I will definitely look back and woof. Or maybe oh, that was nice because maybe they will actually help me understand people.
Yeah, it made you grow as a person.
Maybe, right? Maybe. So I guess that's why I'm here. Then I don't know. Because sometimes you're ignorant. You don't know how things go, and that's where you have to rely on whatever you're gonna call it. Like if you're religious, you would say God. If you're not religious, you would say fate or whatever energy, whatever the hell you want to say. And I think things are the way they are because they're meant to be that way. And I think we just try to understand this sometimes. So I think that's something I also caught myself doing. It's just trying to make sense of everything. Sometimes you can't. You gotta let it happen and breathe and enjoy.
And that's all you can do.
And be with people like you. Who are, also cool people.
Yeah. I can see that.
Can you? I mean, you have glasses, so hopefully.
It makes you more conscious as a person. You start noticing the things that you have not seen your entire life, or things you didn't know existed, and you just wake up like, wow.
Yeah, and the thing is, you cannot
unsee it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the thing. I just wish I didn't just.
Yeah, I guess it takes away from the productivity. Maybe your mind is occupied in these other thoughts too, right? But I think it also helps grow as a person, just because you are never truly going to escape society. You are always going to be a part of the society.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't want to escape society in a way. I just would like to, I don't want to say change society, but I would like to, I think it's possible to create societies where, I don't know, again, where it doesn't feel right. I don't know. There are things that just does not feel right.
You wish that were different.
Yeah, and I think, okay, what can you do about it? Okay, can you just accept it and just whatever? Or can you actually try to create a new society and bring people from there? But again, who do I think I am? No, I'm very ignorant. I know that, and probably what I'm saying is just plain out dumb, or who knows, whatever. This doesn't matter. And maybe I'm just missing something that I'm not seeing, I'm not understanding. So that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah.
So much to it.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, or not, who cares? Yeah, I mean, at the end, what are we here for? For what? Have you seen the movie Free Guy? Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have seen it either. I saw this movie, and it's pretty good. It was about this guy so these people created this game in the real world, and they ended up creating this game where the bots ended up becoming real artificial intelligence, like the NPC people. they became like real. They could think, they could see. And for some reason, one of them became like that. And that was like completely like, whoa. Like we created like real artificial intelligence. Like, whoa, it's like insane. And somehow this person realized he was in sort of a, he didn't realize he was in a simulation type of thing in the game, but he was able to pick up some glasses that people would go to play the game, and he would see like everything was a game. And he saw this girl, and he fell in love with this girl, and you know the girl told him, "Hey, you're just level 1. You don't even have any money." So the guy went to play the game like completely. So he became like a millionaire. He had a bunch of cars. He was all these things because he knew how to play the game. And after that, he was just having fun and everything. And the girl was like, the girl fell in love with the guy too, but like the girl was like real in the real world. And it was like an insane story. But the main takeaway I got from the movie was, what's the difference from what we're living here? There's no difference. Is there? I don't think there's any difference.
We're playing a game to earn money and lead happy lives.
Not even that. Like why are we here for? Like why are we here? Like, and if you can see it like in that way, I think it's a lot more fun. Like, just imagine life as simulation, and just like, okay, like, if that's true, you should do like the most interesting thing. You should try to optimize for interesting, for exciting things. And I think that's, I don't know, that's how you live. And like, yeah.
All right. We're just gonna keep talking on and on. But definitely, I agree with what you're saying.
Well, I don't know. I don't think you should.
No, you raised some good points there, but I don't know.
I'm just messing.
It's a conversation for a different time.
I'll look at you now.
Thank you for watching. This was a lighthearted episode. We just wanted to reflect on what we have done so far and see where we're headed. And we're excited for the future.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that was lighthearted at all. It was heavy, and it was heavy
compared to others.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like the first.
Exactly.
Just like the first one that we met. Yeah.
Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Are you not gonna say stay curious or whatever you say?
And stay curious.
All right. Bye-bye.